Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the fascinating, the unexpected, and sometimes truly mind-bending.
That's right.
And today, we're taking a deep dive into an idea that, well, it really challenges our usual thinking about intelligence. And life itself, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We're exploring this strange, intriguing possibility. Could the secret to cosmic intelligence lie with fungi?
It sounds pretty out there at first, doesn't it? But it really pushes the boundaries.
It does?
So our mission today really is to explore how these organisms, fungi, starting with their hidden networks right here on Earth.
Yeah, the mycelium.
Exactly. How they might potentially connect life across the cosmos.
Ah, yeah.
We'll look at their role as, people call it Earth's ancient internet, their incredible resilience. Could they be cosmic seeds?
Cosmic seeds, I like that.
And then we'll even touch on the really speculative side, this idea of a universal, maybe mycelial intelligence.
Okay, so prepare yourself. We're going to be looking at the world and the universe through a completely new lens today. This deep dive, it's going to challenge how you define communication, maybe even life, and certainly intelligence.
Let's get into it.
So let's start right here, on Earth, literally under our feet.
Mm-hmm. The foundation.
Because that's where we find mycelium, these just incredible sprawling fungal networks. They can go for miles, right?
Huge distances. They're often called Earth's natural internet, and for good reason.
And what's so amazing isn't just that they're there, but how they work.
Absolutely. I mean, research has shown again and again that these networks, especially the mycorrhizal fungi, the ones that partner with plant roots.
Right, the symbiotic ones.
Yes, they actively move nutrients around, water too, and even biochemical warning signals between different plants.
So it's not just a passive connection.
Not at all. It's a dynamic communication system. It allows, potentially an entire forest to act almost like one single connected organism.
Wow.
Think about Paul Stamets' work here. He's a leading mycologist, and he argues pretty persuasively, I think, that fungi have been shaping ecosystems for over 1 billion years.
1 billion years.
Yeah. Acting as nature's network engineers, recyclers, and maybe even catalyst for big evolutionary jumps.
So, okay, this goes way beyond just sharing food then.
It does.
It implies this deep ecological connection, maybe even a kind of collective intelligence, a decentralized one. That really shifts how we see life on Earth, doesn't it?
Completely.
I've read about studies where a plant gets attacked by bugs, and these networks actually carry chemical signals to its neighbors, and those neighbors boost their defenses before the bugs even get there.
That's right. It's preemptive defense, coordinated through the network.
So what are the bigger philosophical takeaways from this natural internet operating right under us?
Well, it's transformative, really. This complexity has led some scientists to draw parallels carefully, of course, between mycelial networks and distributed neural networks.
Like a brain, but spread out.
Exactly. Spread out, decentralized. It suggests intelligence doesn't have to be in a central brain using symbolic language like ours. It can emerge from these huge interconnected systems, a kind of non-human intelligence, and cooperation that's been happening for, eons. It forces you to question our very human-centric view of what intelligence is.
That is a really compelling parallel.
Yeah.
But, okay, for listeners maybe new to this idea, where do scientists draw the line between, complex biological signaling and what we'd usually call intelligence or maybe even computation?
That's a really important distinction to make. We're not saying fungi are doing calculus or writing poetry,
Right.
But they do exhibit what some call primitive computation. They process information from their environment. Where are the resources? Are there threats nearby?
Yeah.
And they adapt. They change their growth patterns, their chemical signals in response. They even show a kind of memory changing their pathways based on past experiences, getting better at routing nutrients.
So like optimizing the network.
Exactly. It's a decentralized information processing system, kind of like a biological computer, optimizing for survival and resource management across this huge network.
That idea of fungal resilience, it definitely changes how you think about how tough life can be.
It does.
And where we go next.
Right.
Well, it takes that idea even further, exploring something that honestly feels like it blurs the line between science and science fiction. If fungi are this robust, this, intelligent in their own way on Earth, what makes anyone think they could be universal travelers, seeding life across the cosmos?
The key thing here is the incredible toughness of fungal spores.
Right.
They are almost unbelievably resilient. We're talking about surviving extreme cold, intense heat, really harsh radiation, even the vacuum of space.
Conditions you'd find out there.
Precisely. Very similar to interstellar conditions. And they produce spores in absolutely vast numbers, trillions upon trillions.
Wow.
So, in theory, these spores could drift through space, maybe on dust particles inside meteors or comet tails, like tiny interstellar hitchhikers.
And this isn't just theory, right? NASA has done experiments.
Exactly. The studies are fascinating. They took fungi like Cryomyces antarcticus. It lives in the really harsh Antarctic dry valleys.
Tough neighborhood.
Extremely. And they exposed it to low Earth orbit for years, brutal UV, cosmic radiation, the works, and it survived.
How? How do they manage that?
It's amazing. They have these thick, dark cell walls full of melanin, like a natural sunscreen.
Okay.
And they can completely dry themselves out, desiccate, which protects their DNA. It's like an evolutionary toolkit that seems almost perfectly designed for space travel.
Which really forces the question, could fungal spores be cosmic seeds?
You've hit it. And this connects directly to the panspermia theory.
The idea that life spreads between planets.
Or at least the building blocks of life, yeah. Spread by robust organisms like these spores. If fungi are such adaptable ecosystem engineers here on Earth, shaping environments, surviving extremes, and you combine that with their resilience and how easily they spread, well, couldn't they potentially seed other worlds? Arrive dormant, wait for the right conditions, and then thrive?
It's a very compelling thought. Makes sense in a way.
It does raise possibilities.
Okay, so if cosmic fungal spores didn't already stretch your imagination, hold on. Because this next part is where speculation really pushes the envelope.
Yeah, this is where we get more conceptual.
Imagine fungi evolving beyond Earth, forming planet-wide networks, maybe even interstellar networks, exchanging genetic data, complex signals, but across truly cosmic distances.
Well, if we build on what we know, fungi already show basic memory and computation, right? Storing, transmitting, processing environmental data.
Right.
And some scientists point to structural similarities, functional parallels between mycelial networks and neural networks. Different mechanisms, obviously chemical gradients, electrical pulses, not synapses.
Right, different hardware, so to speak.
Exactly. But the fascinating idea is how these relatively simple, decentralized rules, when scaled up over vast distances and crucially over billions of years. What could that give rise to?
So that leads us to the really big question, doesn't it?
I think so.
Could evolution, on a cosmic scale, eventually lead to fungal superorganisms? These diffuse, distributed intelligences that can actually think, adapt, maybe even act as like universal data carriers between stars.
It's a mind-expanding idea, isn't it? If that were possible, fungi could genuinely be the first galactic species, silently weaving these networks, this connectivity, long before creatures like us even start thinking about sending signals between stars.
And their intelligence. It might be so alien, so different from ours, decentralized, maybe incredibly slow by our standards.
We might not even recognize it as intelligence.
So what does that mean for SETI, for the search for extraterrestrial life? If the first intelligence we find isn't sending radio waves from some technological civilization,
Right.
but it's these vast, quiet, fungal networks spanning planets, maybe even connecting them.
It completely reframes the search, doesn't it? Maybe instead of listening for radio signals from, complex societies like ours, perhaps we should be looking for other signs. Persistent biochemical signatures, specific organic traces in atmospheres, maybe even evidence of planetary scale mycelial patterns. What's really revolutionary is how it forces us, compels us, to broaden our definition of what intelligent life could even look like, to move beyond our own biases.
And it also asks us to redefine intelligence itself.
Absolutely.
Does it always have to be centralized? Symbolic? Driven by technology we recognize?
Or could it be something far more ancient, diffuse, embodied, ecological, like a huge patient fungal network, just quietly processing information and connecting life across the cosmos?
It's a humbling thought.
It is. As we keep mapping Earth's own incredible fungal networks, and as we develop better models of decentralized systems and peer deeper into space, we might just find something unexpected.
You mean we might find that the first great galactic civilization wasn't built with tools and tech as we imagine them?
Possibly. But maybe by these quiet branching threads of life, silently growing under alien skies, connecting worlds in ways we're only just beginning to guess at.
Fungi really do show us that intelligence communication, cooperation, they could exist in forms so different from our own, forms we might easily overlook.
It's inspiring in a way,
Yeah.
humbling, definitely.
Perhaps then the cosmos is already threaded through with this. Quiet, powerful, interstellar mycelium, just growing silently, patiently between the worlds.
It's a profound possibility to consider.
So as you go about your day, think about that. What does this possibility mean for our search for aliens, for how we even define intelligence?
Yeah.
We hope you'll keep pondering this deep dive. And maybe look not just up at the stars, but also down at the ground beneath your feet.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by the hidden wonders right there.